Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark, and as you can tell, I've sort of changed my background a little bit. We've sort of been reorganizing our house, remodeling, and moving stuff around. So I've sort of shifted my space and where I record, so won't be able to see the candy stripe bed anymore. My big cabinet of figures has sort of moved into a different part of the house, and so I'm recording in a different room. So that's why everything sort of looks a little different. Back here in the background, you can see some of my Hot Toys figures on my Detolf, and then that bottom shelf down there is full of some Masterpiece Transformers figures. So as you can see, today we're taking a look at the NECA Aliens Xenomorph Warrior. Came across these guys at my local Toys R Us this weekend, and they had Hudson, and they had Xenomorph here. No Hicks. I think I'm probably going to have to pick up Hicks off eBay, so that review will be forthcoming. Didn't want to pick up Hudson. I'm not a big fan of that character. As a matter of fact, the reason that to this day I don't like Bill Paxton. Sorry, I always get those two actors confused. The reason I don't like Bill Paxton is because of Hudson and that whole game over scene. He irritated me in that movie. I couldn't wait for him to buy it. I know there's Hudson fans out there, but I'm certainly not one of them. So there was no way I was going to be picking up that figure. He does look pretty cool, though. So I did pick up the Xenomorph Warrior. He's looking pretty tough. He's looking really tall. His legs are bent in the package. As you can see, he's got a nice brown wash on him. I think I may have preferred a cooler, bluer, purplish wash, so that it was more of a steely, sort of blackish character. I'm not a big fan of the brown, but as it stands, this is the only one they had out, and I'm probably not going to be getting too many of these figures. I know that nobody really has the license for Sigourney Weaver's likeness, so we'll probably never get a Ripley figure, but I really do want to get Hicks, so I will be tracking him down. So that review will be coming up soon. Some screenshots of the figure here, and then turn it around here on the back. He's got his mouth open right there. I don't know if that's a variant that's coming at some point in the future, but all the ones I saw, the mouth was closed. This one here, the mouth is open. You can see Hicks, the Warrior, and Hudson right there. And I'm not going to take the time to read that. If you want, pause it, check it out. Big shot of the guy right there. And yeah, that's it. So why don't we get this guy cracked open and take a closer look. Okay, so here we have the Warrior opened up out of the package, and you can see he is quite an imposing figure. He stands about 9 inches tall. I hate to, tracing out the old ruler. He's about 8.5 inches tall, standing the way he is right now, but that's because his legs are sort of bent, but you sort of get him all the way fully erected, stretched all the way out. He's about 9 inches tall, which is really, really good scale. He's not the sturdiest standing of figures, so as you can see, the long tail, of course, is sort of helping him, stand in this upright position. But just taking a quick spin around the figure, you can see extremely, extremely well detailed, well sculpted figure. Lots of details in this thing. Just an absolutely fantastically sculpted figure. NECA is just really, really knocking it out of the park this year with, the Predator line, introducing this new Aliens line. It's just, they're doing some really good stuff. This figure is very well articulated, and we'll get to that. And I also found out something really awesome about the face, and that is that he does have the opening and closing mouth. So we'll zoom in and take a closer look at that because it's got some other features in there as well. But yeah, I just really wanted to show you this guy. Very, very fantastic. Just looks awesome. So let's take a closer look at some of that articulation. Okay, so for articulation, his upper torso is on a ball joint. So you've got a nice range of motion there, full 360. His head is on what seems to be sort of like a pin socket, so it has some down and up, and it also has some left and right. But you also get, it's sort of connected by these little soft plastic tubes, one on each side, and so that sort of hinders how far around it can go. Each one of the arms is on like a really stiff sort of ratchet joint, as you can hear. You've got range of motion at the upper bicep. We have a ball joint. Is that like a... Yeah, it's a double ball joint at the elbow, which is really nice. You've got a ball joint here at the wrist, so you can go all the way around and up and down, which is very nice. Same way on both arms. You've got some really nice, there you go. There's a look at the at the leg joint. Looks like a pin socket there. There we go. So you got a nice rotation at the hip, in and out at the hip. You have double knee joints. Again, very, very awesome. Very awesome. And then you have both a joint at the foot here for the toes, and rotation at the upper ankle. And then the tail, it doesn't rotate, but it is it does have it is sort of articulated in the fact that it does have a piece of metal on the inside, so it's got a wire, so it's very bendable, except for, like, I'd say probably the last 1.5 inches, 2 inches is not. You can see that it's very, very loose. So very soft rubber here. You can see how those bend down, and that's a little sturdier. And you know what? I guess I've never looked at the Xenomorph Warrior enough to know that he does have sort of like this extra little spine right here. I've never really noticed this on the model in the films. So very well articulated figure. I don't think you'd have any problems getting this guy into any sort of the iconic poses that we've seen him in any of the films. So why don't we zoom in and take a closer look at the fine detailing that NECA has put into this guy, and look at some of the features built into the head sculpt. Okay, so zooming in here on the head, you can see some extremely detailed cross sections here. You can see how the jaw is sort of connected to this very thin wire that I talked about hindering the head articulation just a little bit. You can see it's connected to that, and so the jaw can actually go all the way open like that. And as you can see, you do see the extra set of teeth in here, and you actually can just sort of have to reach in here and sort of pull them out, and they actually come out pretty far. So, and even those things are extremely detailed. So you do have that extra set of protruding teeth that come shooting out of his mouth, which is really nice. There's no mechanism that I can find to sort of make this do it. You really just kind of have to do it yourself. It's all manual operation. I've sort of looked around to see if there's sort of like a hidden lever, hidden switch, and if there is one, and I'm just missing it, please somebody point that out in the description or the comments below. Just sort of like, want to really get in here close and let you see some of this extremely fine detail. I mean, the last figure that I reviewed was the NECA Jungle Disguise Dutch, and we talked about how well articulated, how well detailed and sculpted that figure is, and I think this is right on par. I mean, this detailing is absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely fantastic little pieces of spine that you can see in there. All the little mechanical, organic things that Giger sort of built into the design of these figures, of these characters. It's absolutely fantastic. I really think that quite a while ago, not even recently, but quite a while ago, I believe that NECA really surpassed McFarlane Toys as like the definitive, 6-inch, 7-inch scale adult collector company out there on the market. This figure's absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to zoom back out, and we're going to look at a size comparison real quick with somebody I'm sure everybody would love to see this guy go up against. So let's zoom out, take a closer look at that, and wrap this review up. Okay, so here we have the Xenomorph Warrior alongside the Toys R Us exclusive Jungle Hunter Predator from NECA. And you can see, this Jungle Hunter Predator is about 8 inches tall, I believe. It's about 7 3/4 inches tall, which is perfectly in scale with the human figures in that line. And you can see that at 8.5, that the Xenomorph warrior sort of just kind of towers over him. These two guys look absolutely fantastic. You throw in the new Jungle Disguise Dutch, and I think you got a 3-way battle that for the ages. So, every single time I get an NECA figure, I'm just absolutely blown away, and I am just continually amazed by this fantastic company. They are like I said, the go-to adult collector for adult R-rated licenses. There's so many films I wish they would tackle, but they're just absolutely fantastic. And this figure is no exception. I can't wait to get in Hicks. I'm definitely going to be doing a review of that as soon as he comes in. We'll probably see this big guy again. So that's going to about do it. If you can track this guy down, he seems to be well packed in the case. There may be 2 human figures for every 4 chaps or for the Xenomorph warriors, because I think I saw on my shelf there was 2 Hudsons, no Hicks, and like 4 or 5 of this guy. So he seems to be pretty easy to find. I think it's the human characters that may give you a little bit of trouble. So and the price was only he was more. The human figures were $15.99 and this guy was $17.99 at my Toys R Us. So I don't know if that's the same everywhere, but that's what it was like at my store. So I was a little disappointed for that. They were in the same size package. I even tried my best to get the associate to, see the other ones are $15.99, but they weren't having it. This one comes in priced at $17.99. So good luck finding them. I know that they're brand new, and I live here in Florida, so by the time they make it to us, they've pretty much been released everywhere. So this actually may be a pretty late review. But anyway, as always, we're going to ask if you dug the video. Please like, comment, or subscribe, and head on over to facebook.com/Ungrownups and be sure to join the conversation. And also, why don't you check out our podcast, which is new every 2 weeks, and you can stream that off iTunes or at ungrownups.com. So until next time, peace.